Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at this insane rumor about Pedro Pascal quitting The Mandalorian midway through Season 2. I'm going to give you what's actually happening and the proof of it. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Greetings, Exalted Ones. Greetings to all you Jedi, Padawans, and younglings out there. This is Star Wars Coffee, covering everything you need to know about the latest developments, news, and leaks in Star Wars, and as always, giving you my analysis. There are some things that I will never understand, as how people believe that some of these star actors are just randomly quitting projects halfway through shows, halfway through everything, and especially in this modern day and age where everything leaks. The entire film for The Rise of Skywalker leaked. I posted the video of the entire movie, all 3 acts, on the channel, and you can go watch that and see all of the plot points that I talked about happened in the film. Even when they changed the ending, which we know they did, I got that covered and I got that correct as well. So all of these ideas about how Pedro Pascal would be able to quit The Mandalorian is just insane. Now, I didn't originally want to talk about this. I thought that this wouldn't really gain any traction. But at my first job, I have 3 people actually, who come to me and say, what's happening with this? And today, that happened. And now I have to talk about this because if he's talking about it, then that means that it's just all over social media. And so if he's asking me about it, that means I need to address it. So I said, should I address this? He said, yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this article from We Got This Covered. I know, before you say We Got This Covered is not really a reliable source, I know that, and that is deliberately why we're going to this article. Because even they have acknowledged that Pedro Pascal's not leaving. It says, quote, Pedro Pascal reportedly not quitting The Mandalorian, still on board, by Christian Bone. Last week, a worrying rumor started circulating that Pedro Pascal had exited The Mandalorian. Insider Grace Randolph shared that multiple sources had told her that the actor had proved difficult on set and was demanding a chance to take his helmet off in more scenes due to this discomfort of wearing the heavy headgear. Producers wouldn't budge on this, so Pascal was allegedly fired/resigned after a pretty bad split midway through production. Alright, let me just stop here. First of all, Grace Randolph is essentially like, she's not really a reliable insider. She's gotten one thing right. I've heard her compared as the female Mike Zero, so just like discredit everything they say. So we're not really going to take her word on this at all. Also, we know that production on Season 2 started before Season 1 had even finished, and so you mean to tell me that Pedro Pascal was able to quit, and it was able to be kept under lock and key, even with all these new actors coming in, and it was able to be hidden up until after the first release of the trailer, within just a little over a month before the show came out, to prove that this was actually a thing. No. If this was actually happening, we would have heard about it midway through, because they would have had to recast the part. If they recasted the part, we would have known about it. You know why we would have known about it? Because we already got the leaks of Tamara Morrison, Rosario Dawson, we got Sasha Banks, we got Timothy Olyphant, we got all of these other leaks, and they are all accurate. So the fact that you could think that Pedro Pascal would just randomly quit is ridiculous. So furthermore, I'll keep going, but I got some more evidence. We're just going to keep going through this article. Of course, this isn't what fans want to hear, to say the least, but thankfully, a new report has finally come out that completely refutes the previous claims. Tipster Mike Sutton of Geekolocity, never heard of him, has shared that his own sources close to production firmly deny that Pascal has left the show in any capacity. Never heard of this guy, but I believe this because this is obviously true, and these sources provided a couple of reasons for why the Wonder Woman 1984 star making his alleged ultimatum wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so I don't even feel like it's worth reading the rest of this, but let me just continue with what I was going to talk about. This is ridiculous that we have to think that this major star is going to be leaving a Star Wars franchise, The Mandalorian, which will literally, after Game of Thrones as well, cement his career in forever. Like, he will be forever viewed. And to think that he would just willingly leave that because he didn't want to wear a helmet is blatantly ridiculous. Also, if you go take a look at all of Pedro Pascal's social media, The man is still praising The Mandalorian and talking like Team Mando and The Mandalorian and talking about how they just won all of these awards. And that is not the behavior of a guy who is leaving the show and is unhappy with anything that's going on. Not only that, but we know who's working on the show. We know that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are on set nearly every freaking day. Why on earth would any of us think that Pedro Pascal's quitting when he's working with two of the best people he could possibly be working with on a daily basis? Not to mention that we know who the directors are in nearly every episode, and how well it worked on the first season, and how the entire Mandalorian gallery went, and how that whole thing, you could just really see the camaraderie, and they talk about how great it was on set. So this idea that they're trying to keep this under lock and key is ridiculous, because if they wanted to keep it under lock and key, that's just something they wouldn't do, because they would need to recast the part, and there's no way that they could have done that silently with something as big as Star Wars. So let me just conclude here by saying no, Pedro Pascal did not quit The Mandalorian, and please do not believe that he did. It's not happening. It's just really not happening. And if he was, midway through season 2 production, his voice would not have appeared in the trailer, and they would have had whoever they had recasted appear in the trailer, because you still would have had to get him to do the voice work for The Mandalorian, because he is Din Djarin. His voice is Din Djarin. If he had left the show, they would have had to have recast somebody midway through the season, which again we know was already started before season 1 finished and before The Rise of Skywalker came out, which disputes that right there. Not only is his voice in it, but if he was actually being replaced, his voice couldn't be in it, because supposedly halfway through the season we would have had to hear someone else. So this whole idea that Pedro Pascal quit is just ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you always. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it!
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.